She's resenting the fact that you're not taking care of your health. She's resenting the fact that you're not listening to her. And she starts to stack these resentments. And then she brings the kids to start picking on you. She also, right? She also might just be hurt. There might be some hurt behind her. And so she's lashing out like kids do. It also could be because she doesn't feel safe. She doesn't feel that you are her protector and a provider. She is trying to push you away or wake you up, and also trying to take on the people that are closest to her, her children, and make sure they're protected by pushing you further away. But if she's really coming at me and she's politicking and bringing the kids on her side, what I would do right away is pull her aside. And I'd be very calm, but very stern. Say, I don't appreciate the way you're talking to me in front of our kids. It's not fair to me. It's certainly not fair to the kids. It's not showing you in your best light. What's really going on here? Hey guys, does your wife ever put you down in front of your kids or criticize you or try to politic and get the kids on her side? Well, today I'm going to talk about some things that happen and some strategies on how you can flip the script on this and get things settled back into your house so you can resit on your throne, so to speak. Now, this is an unfortunate occurrence, and unfortunately it happens a lot, where a man's wife might start criticizing him in front of the children, putting him down, belittling him. Or she might also start politicking when he's not there and getting the kids to be on her side. Now, first of all, let's talk about why a woman might do this, right? We all know it's wrong. It's childish. It's immature. It's selfish, really, and it's damaging to the children. So why would your wife do this? Well, odds are that your wife is doing this is because she's hurt, right? And that's not an excuse. It's a reason. Two different things, right? I'm not saying it's appropriate at all. It's not. It's not justifiable at all either, right? This is demeaning to the kids. This is horrible for the kids, let alone you, let alone her. But chances are she's hurting and she's trying to lash out, or she's trying to get your attention, and it hasn't happened. So as an example, let's say for years your wife has been telling you to take care of your health and you're not listening for whatever reason. So your wife, because out of her frustration and resentment of trying to keep communicating this to you, and you seemingly aren't listening or getting the picture of what she's trying to say, she starts to enlist other people. And these other people are the people that are closest to her and the closest to you, and that's your children. And she might start ridiculing you, calling you fat, or whatever else it may be in front of the kids. Again, this is all wrong. I'm not agreeing with any of this. I'm just giving you some perspective here, because she's she's dying inside. She's screaming and yelling inside her head at you to try to get you to take care of your health. Now, this could be a million things, right? It could be drinking, health. Drinking and health are the two common ones. Also, guys that work too much, three common ones I hear a lot. Could be any of those, but it could be taking your health. So she starts to go at you and just go out with resentment. She's resenting the fact that you're not taking care of your health. She's resenting the fact that you're not listening to her. And she starts to stack these resentments, and then she brings the kids to start picking on you. And it's just not cool. It just isn't. She also, right? She also might just be hurt. There might be some hurt behind her, right? She might be hurt at other things you've done. And so she's lashing out like kids do. I have young kids, so I see them do this all the time, right? They get hurt by one kid and they lash out at the other kid. It's typical. It's typical teenage behavior, really. And so your wife just might be in this teenage mentality of maturity, right? It doesn't mean that she's a teenager. It doesn't mean she's immature, but she's acting immature in that moment. And look, I've certainly acted immature as an adult in a lot of moments. So this is something, though, that is going to build up as resentment. It's going to cause more and more problems as time goes. It also could be because she doesn't feel safe, right? She doesn't feel safe around you. She doesn't feel that you are her protector and a provider for whatever reason. Manufactured or real, she may not feel that. And she is trying to push you away or wake you up, and also trying to take on the people that are closest to her, her children, and make sure they're protected by pushing you further away. So these are a couple of the reasons. Now, she might do the same thing by politicking and getting the kids on her side, because when she does this, she might be doing this for several reasons. One is that resentment. She's resenting the things that's happening. Two, she might also be trying to help you in her own way. But three, what I see a lot is she might be campaigning because she might see this relationship ending, right? She's trying to get everybody on her side so she's not the bad guy. And when the relationship goes the wrong way, divorce or separation, that she's got everybody on her side because it's not her fault because she was the good one. It's your fault because you're the bad guy. And she recruits everybody to be on your side. Now, if this is true, again, immature behavior and it's horrible and you don't want it. Okay, now we've set the scene here. So what the heck do you do? Right? What do you do in this situation? Now, here's how I personally would handle it, right? So if my wife ridicules me, now a joke is totally different. My wife and I are great at this stage of our marriage, and joking with me around the kids, I don't care. But if she's really coming at me and she's politicking and bringing the kids on her side, what I would do right away is pull her aside. I go, babe, I need to talk to you in private, please. Right? And I'd pull her into the room or what have you, and I'd be very calm but very stern. Say, I don't appreciate the way you're talking to me in front of our kids. It's not fair to me. It's certainly not fair to the kids. And it's not showing you in your best light. What's really going on here? Right? So I'm digging to the bottom of the real issue. And she may say nothing. She may say, well, this is it. Or she may come up with a real thing. I'm going to create a safe space to listen to her, to let her air her grievances, let her air herself out, whatever it is. But I'm also going to be firm about the boundary, right? And so once she's done, tell me we have this conversation, good, bad, or indifferent. I'm going to set the boundary. I'm going to set it very firmly. Go, look, I will not tolerate being ridiculed or criticized in front of our children. Can we both agree that I won't do that to you and you won't do that to me? Is that an agreement? If she agrees, great, you have a boundary, right? If she doesn't, say, look, this isn't healthy for our kids. You love our kids. I love our kids. It's not healthy for me and it's not healthy for you. It's not healthy for our marriage, right? Is that what you want? And she's going to say no, right? Of course she is. Some version of this. And right, there's a million spinoffs of this conversation, guys. But I can only give you one, right? Just one or two. So as that conversation is going, great. Then can we agree together that we're not going to criticize or ridicule each other or put each other down in front of the kids? And she says, yes, you go your way. Now, if she breaks that and does it again, pull her aside. Hey, babe, I need to talk to you privately. Take her away from the kids, depending on what your relationship. Maybe you guys argue in front of the kids. It's up to you. But this is what I would do. Take her away from the kids. Say, babe, we had an agreement that we wouldn't ridicule or put each other down in front of the kids. Is that correct? Right now, what I'm doing is I'm getting re-buy-in. Yes, it is. And she's going to go, yes, but you did this, or whatever she's going to say. But all I wanted her to do is realize that she broke the agreement. Got it. So I may give her a second chance and say, hey, look, let's stick to this agreement. Or I may say, hey, if this happens again, one of us has to leave. That doesn't mean what I mean by that is leave the house for a little bit. Or maybe it's leave for longer than a little bit. Whatever it is for you. You get to decide your own boundary on this. I'm not going to decide it for you. I know what my boundary is, right? And my boundaries don't get crossed because I enforce the punishment, so to speak, the consequence. That's what word I'm looking for. I enforce it. So my wife knows, and my wife does too to me, by the way. So I want to be abundantly clear. It's not like I enforce all these rules against my wife. My wife's a strong woman. Yours probably is too. And if she has boundaries and I violate them, she's going to enforce it on me. And the consequence is coming down, and it should. So if that happens again, then I'm going to say, babe, look, we had an agreement that we weren't going to ridicule or put each other down in front of the kids, and you're doing it again. And that's not acceptable for me. One of us has to go for a little bit, right? I would put her in a timeout, so to speak, or you just step away and take the kids with you, right? But there needs to be a consequence in there. It needs to be firm. And that's what a lot of guys miss. Same thing with politicking. She's trying to get the kids on her side. What I want to find out, first I want to stop it. And what I want to find out in my own mind's eye is why? Why is my wife doing this? Not the surface reason, but what's the real reason? When you married her, she wasn't like this. So what changed? It's not like all of a sudden she became a bad person. So what's changed? Is she scared? Is she upset? All of those things. What's going on in her world that's causing her to do this? What's the fear behind this? Usually politicking, bringing the kids in, is a fear-based thing, right? She's scared of something. Is she scared of, going back to the health idea, she's scared that I'm going to die and not take care of myself and I'm the person she loves and she's going to lose me. And then she's scared and so she acts out, right? It's a common thing, right? Even though she loves me, she's acting out. Or she's scared that I'm going to die and not leave any money for her and she's going to have to raise the kids herself. Or she's scared I'm going to die in front of the kids and she's going to find her husband dead on the floor and she can't handle it. Or she's scared that I'm cheating, or she's scared. What is it? What is going on? I want to get to the root of the problem as soon as possible. And what happens all too often, guys, is guys just get upset and they bitch and they moan and they don't have the actual conversation to get to the root of the issue. And it just keeps coming up. It's like a weed, right? You take a weed whacker to a garden that's got a bunch of weeds on it and you chop them off, right? The weeds are just going to grow back. And you chop them off again. You can keep doing this. You can put poison in there. They're going to grow back. You have to get down there and dig out the roots, right? Get to the root of the issue. And that's not as easy as it sounds, right? You need skills. Men have been through our program. You guys use the hidden motives technique a little bit, but also be firm. Be firm. Love yourself. Be firm in there and be firm in setting your boundaries, right? And really make sure. And something you can do if it's not working is emphasize the children. Because what could happen is your wife could be so pissed at you that she doesn't give a crap about violating the boundaries, right? About, hey, she's going to keep bringing the kids on. She's going to keep criticizing you because she hates you at the moment. You can love and hate somebody at the same time, right? You can do that. So she might hate you and love you, but she might hate you in the moment and not be able to process that anger. And she's lashing out in a way that she knows how, which maybe that's how the household she was brought up in. So bring up the health of the kids. Just stop her and go, I use two things of, recommend in public. If your wife does it, just look at her and go, are you okay? And just stare at her when she does that. And everybody else around you will question, especially if she's being mean, they'll see it for what it is. Second thing you can do, right, is just talk to her and go, look, is this healthy for the kids? And I would just ask her that. Is this the right thing? Is this healthy for the kids? Is this the marriage you want our kids to grow up in? And the answer is probably going to be no. And she might blame you. Don't worry about the blame. Focus on the issue at hand, right? That's the key. So a lot of people will try to dodge this and start blaming other things. Go, well, you didn't do the dishes. You didn't do this. You didn't, change the oil in the car, whatever. Great. We can have that conversation about those things. But right now I want to talk about bringing the kids in to gang up against each other. You don't want me to do that to you. So please don't do that to me. So I'm going to leave it there, guys, because there's so many ideas you can dive deeply into this concept. And we can do a whole masterclass on this concept of what to do when the kids are politicking or your wife's politicking, bringing the kids in or criticizing you. But the key here is to set firm boundaries, get to the root of the issue, the actual issue, and enforce consequences. If you can do those three things, you can turn this around. Do it sternly, but do it with love and not criticism. Gentlemen, as I always say in the moment of insight, take massive action. If you'd like to dive deeper down subjects just like this, I invite you to go over to thepowerfulman.com/apply now and get information on our activation method. Take massive action in the moment of insight, no matter what you do, guys. And I'll see you next time on the TPM show.